Okay, so John, yeah, we bawled. That's okay to say, Lena. We had a little intimate relationship there, right? We're here with Amy and Michael, yes, who are our guiding parents at this point. They're uh, an incredible example of an earthly twin flame relationship. Now, so we look to them as a parental unit, yeah. Also being singer songwriters who work together and independently. Hi, Amy. Yeah, your blood pressure skyrockets when Christopher is around. That is what we have surmised. Do I need medication? You might need some. You might need some. But let's just take the day a little bit, precariously, but with good hope, because it's a good thing to realize. Listen, I'll tell you something. I could have. You're already worrying about him seeing this video. Don't worry about it. All right. I have noticed I get very violently sick when he starts stressing me out. And lately it takes not too much, right? Like him just, well, may I, Michael? Yeah, yeah. John, go ahead. Oh, all right. Thanks, Mike. Uh, when Lena tried to take her pressure earlier with the machine, Christopher walked into the room and he was standing there waiting to see what the results were. And he was like, "What's taking so long? Why is it taking so long? What's the results? What's the result?" And her pressure went through the roof. So much so that there was an error on the machine and the machine shut off. And I was like, "Chris, you can't do that to me while I'm trying to take my pressure. Why are you doing that to me?" Yeah. And that's just an example of how he unwittingly, ironically named Witting, this man, he unwittingly sabotages us. All right, what do we do about this? Because I'm in a situation. Yeah, don't get don't get nuts. Please relax. All right, Michael. All you can do is just breathe at this point. Because yeah, he's a problem. Oh God, he's a big problem where your health is concerned. Your physiological health. My physiological health. The minute he comes in the room, more times than not, your blood pressure goes up. Because you don't know what to expect with him. He's a mixed bag. But he's very needy and he's very pushy and he doesn't know boundaries very well. And having been your caretaker for a couple of years, caregiver, caretaker, I feel more like he's my. Don't say it. You're not in a coffin, Lena. Not yet. No coffins for you, Lena. All right. There's not any coffins with your name on it anywhere. All right. Easy does it. So what now? It's a big deal to pinpoint the problem. It's a big deal to pinpoint the problem. And he's a problem. But we need him. Just for a little while longer. So he has to be made aware of the problem that he presents to you. And he has to leave you alone and go do something more with his life than just hover. You don't need him 24 hours a day. You need him maybe max a total of about an hour and a half a day. Yeah, that's about it. But he makes it seem like he... Yeah, I know. John, and he raises my pressure too. And remember, we're together, right? So sometimes he raises my pressure even worse, and I wanted to bring something to the forefront. When I was living with Yoko, I had to get away from her often. Right. Often. I locked her out of the bedroom, or I had my own bedroom for all intents and purposes. For all intents and purposes, my bedroom was mine alone. Shawnee would come in here and there, and spend time. We'd watch television while I'd be writing, but Yoko raised my pressure horribly toward the end there. She could really make me sick. It was the same dynamic. The relationship is not what it used to be, or it's never going to be what a regular husband and wife relationship is going to be, right? So there's that dynamic that technically you're still married, but then this person is just like in your space and you don't want them there. And I needed her too. I needed her in the same way that you need to utilize Christopher physically to help you to do some routine activities because of your limited range of motion. But I needed her in other ways. And that necessity of having this person in your life when you don't necessarily want them there. It's one thing to want, it's another to need. And I had to take trips. I had to get away. I used to jump in a plane and go around the world and stuff. And that was really for my brain to be alone and think how I'm going to work this thing with you, Lena, and get away from her for a while. And I used to go out to Long Island with the kid and leave her back in New York City. And she was more than happy to stay there. She had plenty going on in her own social circles. And she's a very solitary person. She loved doing the business, and she loved, being on her own schedule. She didn't want to be my caretaker either. Yeah, caretaker, caregiver. What? It's give and take, right? Because we give to them too. We give them an aspect of existence that wouldn't otherwise exist without us in their orbit, in their lives. Try to picture Christopher's life without you right now. Try to picture Yoko's life had I never been in her life. You can't really picture it, can you? When I picture Christopher's life without you, I don't see him being alive. I don't see him having lasted this long. But if he was in a world without you right now, I see him not really functioning very well at all. You give him a reason. You have always given him a reason. When he really didn't care two shits one way or the other, which way the wind blew. You were his beacon. You, Lena. That's a lot to take on. It's a lot. I feel the pressure too. I do. Well, we must be badass, I know. Like the sign says, we must be brave and badass. And strong. And yet humble. So with this pressure thing, my biggest thing is like, if I die of a sudden stroke or a heart attack, I'm all right because I know John will be together. Yes, but that's not the plan. All right. But sometimes, no, our plans are pretty definite, okay? You're not going to be paralyzed by a stroke, and you're not going to cross over or die from a stroke. We're already, all right, we're going to get this under control. We got a good doctor, and also Christopher had to be made aware that he's a problem, and he's got to start curbing his behavior. And that's going to take some adjustment on his part because he's not used to curbing his behavior for anyone, especially not with you. His bad behavior runs rampant when it comes to you. He loses his temper, he gets babyish, he gets ridiculous. And that's gonna end right now. You say that, but then the next time he pitches a fit, I don't know if you realize how often that man pitches a fit. It's daily. Even even if it's not extreme, it's daily and for no good reason. Because of his own frustration and his own boredom with his own life. You're not bored with your life. You're not frustrated with your life. No. You're with me. There are answers, and they are coming fast and furious. Remember, too, it's the full moon. Our blood pressure always goes up, especially now it's a full lunar eclipse. You know, I'm glad you put your ring on. That's nice. But don't worry about that damn blood pressure machine. You don't have to use it anymore today. Tomorrow's another day. Put that machine away. So that was the main reason why the pressure went up was him. You were okay. We played our piano. Don't worry about how do you tell somebody this, that. He can figure it out.